Hello, dear students. I am Mr. Chetan Pawar, working as an assistant professor and the head department of botany, Gokhale Education Society's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Jawar. Welcome you all to this online teaching learning platform. In previous lecture, we have seen the syllabus for botany paper second, that is a plant diversity 4 of the Mumbai University. From today's lecture, we are going to start our unit 3 of the paper second, that is anatomy. First of all, what is meant by anatomy? The literal meaning of anatomy is to cut and separate into the pieces. That means this is a branch of science which is studied by taking the sections and observing it. The definition of anatomy can be stated as it is a branch of science which deals with the scientific study of the internal structure of different organs of living organisms. There are various branches of the anatomy such as plant anatomy, human anatomy, etc. The plant anatomy, it is studied by taking the sections of the various parts of the plants such as the root, stem, leaf, etc. Before going in details of this unit, first of all, we will see what is the difference between the primary and secondary growth. The primary growth, it mainly occurs due to the activity of apical meristems, while the secondary growth, it occurs due to the activity of lateral meristem. The primary growth, it it can be observed in the apical region of the plant, while the secondary growth, it is observed in the lateral region of the plant. That means the lateral side of root stem, it shows the secondary growth. The primary growth, it increases the length of the plant, while the secondary growth, it increases the girth or the thickness of the plant. Primary growth can be observed in all types of plants, while the secondary growth, it is observed mostly in the woody plants such as the dicotyledons and gymnosperms, which are either trees or shrubs. The primary growth, it starts right from the germination of the plant, while the secondary growth, it occurs at a particular stage in the development of the plant. Now moving to the secondary growth, we already discussed the some part. It happens when the stems or the roots, they grow outward. That means they get thicker. There is the increase in the thickness. This type of growth, it is possible because of the some plants like trees and shrubs, they have the lateral meristem. Instead of causing the plant to grow up or down, that means in length, the lateral meristematic tissue, it causes the plant to increase in girth by adding the rings of growth each year. We can define the secondary growth as when the width of a plant or its girth increases due to the activity of lateral meristem, it is called as the secondary growth. That means for secondary growth, 2 points are important. One is that there should be the increase in the girth or thickness of the plant, and the second point is that increase in the girth or the thickness, it is due to the presence of or the activity of lateral meristem. The lateral meristems that produce the secondary growth, these are commonly called as cambium, which just mean a tissue layer that adds to the plant growth. The two types of the cambium in the plants for the secondary growth are the vascular cambium and the cork cambium. The vascular cambium, it produces the secondary growth of the vascular tissues which are present in the stellar region of the plant, while the cork cambium, it is also called as the phylogeny, it produces the secondary growth of the cork tissues in extrastellar region. The secondary growth is mostly observed in dicotyledons and gymnosperms, and it is observed in monocots with some exceptions such as Dracaena. The secondary growth, it is of two types. One is that is the normal secondary growth, and the second one is the anomalous secondary growth. Now, before going to the anomalous secondary growth, which is a part of our syllabus, we will see what is meant by the normal secondary growth in the dicot stems, which you have already studied in your second year of BSc. In normal secondary growth, there are 2 to 3 important points are there. The first one is that is the fascicular cambium, it joins with the interfascicular cambium to form a complete ring of cambium, which is containing the two types of the cells, fusiform initial cells and ray initial cells. Now here you can see the 4 diagrams, out of which the first diagram, it shows the primary growth. In dicotyledonous stem, during the primary growth, you can observe the large central pith which is surrounded by the ring of vascular bundles. These vascular bundles, they are of conjoined, that means xylem and phloem both are present in a single bundle. Then they are of collateral type. Collateral means xylem and phloem, they are placed laterally side by side, and open type means the cambium is present and that's why it is open for the secondary growth. When cambium is absent, then that type of vascular bundle is called as closed type of vascular bundle. So in this diagram, the dicot stem shows the vascular bundles with conjoined, collateral and open type. This is regarding the primary growth. Now in second diagram, there is the starting of secondary growth takes place. Here the fascicular cambium joins with interfascicular cambium to form a complete ring of cambium. Here you can see the complete ring of cambium in black color. This complete ring of cambium, it is formed due to the fusion of fascicular cambium, means the cambium which is present inside the vascular bundle. It is also called as a vascular cambium, while the interfascicular cambium, which is produced after the starting of secondary growth, and it is formed due to the development of meristematic cells in the medullary rays from the parenchyma cells, which is shown in this diagram, interfascicular cambium. And both these fascicular cambium and interfascicular cambium, they join to produce a complete ring of the cambium. The fusiform initials produce the secondary xylem on inner side towards the primary xylem, while the secondary phloem on outer side towards the primary phloem. forming the vertical system. That means, in simple words, the fusiform initials, they produce the vertical system of the dicot stem, and it consists of the secondary xylem and secondary phloem. Secondary xylem is produced towards the inner side, while the secondary phloem, it is produced towards the outer side. In this diagram, the red colored region, it is of secondary xylem, while the green colored patch, it is of secondary phloem in second diagram. Then the ray initials produce the secondary medullary rays of the horizontal system. That means the second type of cells of the cambium ring, they produce the secondary medullary rays of the horizontal system. Fusiform initials produce the vertical system, while the ray initials produce the horizontal system. Vertical system consists of secondary xylem and secondary phloem, while the horizontal system consists of secondary medullary rays. Okay. Moving to the next. Now, what is meant by anomalous secondary growth? We have seen the normal secondary growth. Now, we will see the anomalous secondary growth. The word anomalous, it means the deviating from the general or the common order or type, and which is present in a limited number of families or genera. That means the anomalous, it means the deviation from the normal type. Hence, we can define the anomalous secondary growth as any deviation or the change in the normal secondary growth is referred to as anomalous or abnormal secondary growth. This anomalous secondary growth, it can be due to the following reasons. The number one is that the cambium is normal, but it shows the unusual activity. The second one is that there is the abnormal position of the cambium. That means instead of having the normal position in between the primary xylem and primary phloem, the cambium, it is having the abnormal position. And the third reason is that the abnormal cambium, which is developing either from the cortex or pericycle, or the normal cambium, it soon gets replaced by the another cambium with abnormal activity. Okay. There are two types of the secondary growth. The one is that adaptive growth, and the second one is non-adaptive type of secondary growth. In adaptive type of secondary growth, there is the relation with the habit or physiological function of the plant. That means this anomalous secondary growth, it is helpful for the attaining the habit or performing the physiological function. That is called as a adaptive type of secondary growth. While in case of non-adaptive type of secondary growth, there is no relation with the habit or the physiological function of the plant is there. Okay. Now, moving to the first type of anomalous secondary growth, which is included in our syllabus, that is the Bignonia stem. The Bignonia, it is a liana or a woody climber, which is belonging to the family Bignoniaceae. Now, liana or woody climber, that means it is a climber, but it is having a woody structure, that is called as a woody climber. The anomalous secondary growth, it is due to the abnormal behavior of the cambium during the latter stages in Bignonia. The young stem, it shows the normal primary growth, but during the secondary growth, the fascicular and interfascicular cambium fuse to form a complete ring of cambium, and this cambium ring, it shows the normal secondary growth in the initial stages. That means the secondary xylem, it is produced intracambially in a large amount, and the secondary phloem is produced extracambially in comparatively small amount. Intracambially means inside the cambium and extracambially means outside the cambium. Later, that means after the initial stage, later the secondary cambium, it divides into the 8 strips. The 4 larger strips alternating with the 4 smaller strips. The larger strips of the cambium, they produce the more secondary xylem intracambially and normal secondary phloem extracambially. So this is the abnormal activity of the cambium. That means instead of producing the normal secondary xylem and secondary phloem, it starts to develop the more secondary xylem intracambially and normal secondary phloem extracambially, while the smaller strips which are alternating with the larger strips of the cambium, they produce the less secondary xylem and a large amount of secondary phloem. This is shown in this diagram. Here in this diagram, here you can see there is the central pith is there and it is surrounded by the secondary xylem. This secondary xylem, it shows the 4 furrows in the form of secondary phloem, and these furrows are formed due to the formation of the 8 strips, out of which the 4 are smaller and 4 are larger, and both these types of strips, they are having the different activities, and due to that there is the formation of ridges and furrows takes place. Here the 4 larger strips are present towards the outer side, while the 4 smaller strips are present towards the inner side of the stem in a yellow color. Okay. As a result of this differential activity of the cambium, the secondary xylem cylinder, that means which is shown in the lining pattern, secondary xylem cylinder, it shows 4 embedded pockets of the secondary phloem as a furrows, which are shown by the pink color. Phloem furrows are supported by the plates of sclerenchyma. You can see the presence of the sclerenchyma patches in front of the secondary phloem to give the support. The soft tissue of the phloem, it allows the stem to twine around a support. That means the secondary phloem, it is helpful for the climbing habit of the stem. Hence, this type is the adaptive type of secondary growth. The cortex is parenchymatous with the patches of sclerenchyma. The transverse section of the stem, it shows the 4 ridges and 4 furrows alternating with each other. You can see here in transverse section there is the ridges and furrows which are shown by the pink and yellow color. So these ridges and furrows are shown, and these are due to the abnormal activity of the cambium. In this second diagram, which is a magnified view, you can see the outermost epidermis, then after that there is the parenchyma, then starch sheath is there, and the sclerenchyma patches are present in front of the secondary phloem, while the secondary phloem, it looks like the furrows in the secondary xylem and central pith is there. Okay. So important features of the Bignonia stem. The cambium is normal in its origin as well as activity in the initial stages of the growth. That means in initial stages, both the origin of the cambium is normal and also the activity is also normal. This cambium gets divided into the 4 small and 4 large strips. The development of 4 phloem furrows by the 4 small strips with the sclerenchyma plates. Then the development of 4 fan-shaped xylem wedges by 4 larger strips. Then the cambium shows anomalous activity during later stages, and the last one is that the anomalous activity, it is for the adaptation for the climbing habit. Thank you.